I kind of wanted to show off this crazy looking drink.
I mean, it is. You can when you sip it, they'll see it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because exactly. So now it actually shows here up.
Oh wow.
Yeah. All right, so I started the recording already.
Cool. I think they just got a mouthful.
Well, I edit the first part out until we actually start talking.
Good.
Uh,
That was a mouthful. Sorry. Dude, like I took like when you slurp it. When you slurp it up, all of a sudden there's like a clog, and then everything launches out. You're like drowning in.
That is a thick straw. That thing. That's a good like.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty good sized straw.
Thick straw. Oh no, I'm a white supremacist. Did you hear about that?
No.
The OK sign is a white supremacy sign. Even though it's a diving sign for when you're underwater and you can't communicate.
Like 3Ks?
No, it's supposed to be like white power. It's a stretch. It's a stretch.
Crazy. Yeah. No, not okay with that.
Yeah, no, it's really dumb.
All right. So, do we start off with your questionnaire?
Ooh.
Or?
No, I think we should start off with your thing. Oh, so welcome to the show. Welcome to the Bear Thing Show. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been like a whole freaking week. It's good to see you guys.
Oh,
So I was thinking, in order to retain viewer retention, is we could start the episodes off before we do small chat by saying, or small talk, whatever you call it, by telling people what we're going to talk about.
Do we normally even have a thing? I know today we do.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're trying to go that direction, right?
Yeah, we are.
Of having like a thing that it's like, here's what we're doing this episode.
Yeah.
We're talking about this thing. So it might be good to be like, hey, welcome to the show. Today we're talking about the...
Oh, today we're talking about people zoos.
People zoos.
People zoos.
And now we can banter.
Yeah,
because
okay.
now people know what's coming up after we're done
we talk about random other
making
nonsense.
jokes and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have anything to start off with other than the people zoo because I think that's absolutely insane.
Oh, no, it's freaking crazy. I'm just saying, like, in the future, we should do that, and then we do this, and then we do the thing.
Okay, yeah, I can get with that.
Yeah, so anything going on in your life?
Besides the fact I was told to stop singing while I'm working.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. That's the only other thing. In defense, they didn't technically say stop singing. It was just more like, I now have to just mouth my singing, like mouth the words instead of actually singing them out loud.
Oh, right. You were telling me something about this earlier, and I was going to look up the thing, because there's totally a thing for, it's like, I can't.
I just know it's anxiety.
It's anxiety, but there's a specific thing for what, like, so the fact that songs or noises of that pitch can cause the anxiety has an actual name. Like, that's a thing you can be diagnosed with, and I forgot what it's called.
You should definitely look that up so I can talk to him, and because he's looking for help right now.
Okay.
And I was like,
well,
okay.
It sounds like he has this thing that I know of that I can totally get you after the episode.
Yeah, that'd be
amazing. I forgot to look it up before we started while you were getting tea.
Yeah, that would actually be amazing. Just because I'm like, I want to help out. I do. I just also like that's my release. It's how I.
You're gonna have anxiety.
Yeah.
If you don't do it.
Yeah,
and then
like,
this person gets anxiety from you.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
it's like oh, this sucks. And I'm nice enough that I'm like, I'll just not do it out loud or when you're not near me, or I'll do it when you're not. When you're
not near me. Mm-hmm. Once you do it loud enough that he hears you on the other side.
I don't say that loud.
Okay.
Like, I sing just loud enough for someone within 10 feet of range to hear me singing, but they probably couldn't tell what I'm singing.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of singing, Stephen Fox sung.
Dude.
Boy, did he sing that song.
Yes. You said a lot right there. I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of songs. Yeah, I did that, right? Song, sing, song?
Song, sing, sung?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that an Asian name? You know Song Sing Sung, right? What? Was that racist?
It sounds racist.
Can't joke anymore.
I mean, I found it hilarious.
Oh, okay.
But,
good.
No, I was,
If it's racist, let me know in the comments below.
I was thinking about, oh, actually, no, what's going on in my life is I'm trying not to drink beer as much. And I've
That's
done,
good.
I've
Yeah.
done a really good job of it, actually.
That's good. Me too.
And
This isn't a beer.
I almost went and bought meat today, though. Where Jenny works, there's meat.
Yeah.
She has meat at that place. I went there
I
and
would
talked
like
to...
to try that.
Dude, they had like a whole slew of them I didn't
I
even
feel
know
like
about.
I'm closer than you.
You want me to do that?
No, I was gonna say I want to back up a little bit. So it's easier for me
Well,
to
now
look
we're
at you.
off.
Oh,
There we go.
hey guys.
But yeah, no, they have a slew of meats. And then he was like, also, we have beer meats? And I was like, what is beer meats? And so then he showed me their selection of beer meats. And that's what I was
Yeah.
going to buy today. But then I was like, I don't have the money for that, so I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
But, yeah. So
Yeah, I'd like to try some meat.
next time we actually do an episode and I have some...
Yeah, I'd like to move over to liquor.
Yeah. No, same. That's like...
Yeah.
Because I'm okay with drinking
It's way
beer,
less carbs.
But it's... Yeah, after I'm done drinking, I feel like I just ate a loaf of bread.
Oh yeah, it's basically with all the yeast.
Dude, I feel awful afterwards. I feel bloated and like... I'm like, dude, maybe this is why I hate bread. Like,
You're not a big bread fan, that's true.
dude, I absolutely hate bread. I'll eat a sandwich, like if we go to like Firehouse
Wait,
Subs or
we
something like
went we went to Longhorn Steakhouse and
that. I got a loaf of bread.
you got bread.
Yeah, I got a loaf of bread. I got whole wheat bread that was, no, it had something else in it. It had some sort of nuts in it.
I didn't have any of it, but
But
I just remember she was like, "Do you guys want bread?" And I'm like, "I don't want bread." And you're like, "Yes." And I'm like, "James wants bread."
Well, I also got the soup with mine.
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And like, so
That does
soup
change
and bread go
yeah,
perfect
yeah, it
together.
goes well together. Yeah.
Especially the soup they got me was a mushroom Swiss,
Oh, that sounds
and that was
delicious. Yeah.
absolutely fantastic.
Oh, I bet it was good.
But yeah, no, try not to drink beer, so I'm refraining,
Yeah.
and I have failed.
Oh
'Cause
no.
I drank a 420 last night.
Loco?
No, the Sweetwater.
Oh.
Just the green-
Not Four Loco. The yeah, you're talking about Sweetwater's Pale Ale Route 420.
Yes.
Yeah. That stuff's good.
Yeah, no, it wasn't bad. It's the first beer I've had in a minute, and it was actually pretty good. And I enjoyed it, mainly just due to the fact that it was my first beer in a while, and I only had one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was gonna grab another one, and I was like,
Yeah, it's probably good.
Yeah,
it's probably a good thing.
I'll do
Yeah. With me, recording on another show on the side. Haven't done it in a couple weeks, but there's the backlog. Even though it's only a few episodes, they are so long that I feel like it's still something that's like I could be like, hey, go check out Cyrix channel.
I was gonna ask, is it Cyrix?
Yeah,
Okay.
go check out Cyrix channel.
Dude, I
if you
feel
want
so
to hear
bad.
more of us talking, but in a different format with a guest.
I feel so bad because like I haven't been on there.
It's
And
been like 2 or 3 weeks.
He's messaged me.
He hasn't messaged me at all.
Well, he messaged me like last week and asked because he did say he's like every now and then I do want just one of you, and I can understand we can be a little
Oh, we take over the show.
yeah. So it's
Yeah,
like
we
I
take over
get
the
that,
show.
but then I feel awkward.
It's our
I
personality.
feel awkward just doing it by myself though because my personality does not rise to the occasion unless I'm with someone I'm comfortable with.
Well,
if that makes sense.
Also, the format being so much different because this format is very different than I'm in my room on my phone or whatever, talking into a microphone, and there's no video or anything, and we're watching something.
I was gonna say like
It's very different.
There's been several times where I've done it, and I've been literally just laying in bed with my phone like.
Yep. Yeah, it's so convenient.
It is. But this
yeah,
is
so
unfortunately inconvenient.
very inconvenient. Very
But
inconvenient.
I
But
actually
that's
still
the style.
I was gonna say I actually do.
The
enjoy
style
doing
is
this,
inconvenient. Any news on your new podcast?
Well, I'm in the works of 3.
I know it's not okay. I meant the one you're going to be a co-host on.
Okay. Any news on that one? No.
Okay.
Other than we sat down and talked about everything and came up with a name.
Isn't the studio ready?
Oh yeah, studio's been ready, and that's gonna be the studio for my other 3.
Oh, nice. Yeah, word.
Yeah.
And then you're working on some. We don't need to spoil that.
Yeah, no,
I was just curious because you announced that one on an episode, and so that's the only if you announce others, then I'm gonna have to bug you about it because people will want to know.
Yeah.
What the
Well,
status
the other
is.
ones I'm gonna wait. They already have names. I just haven't.
Okay, dope.
I need to start getting guests signed up, and unlike this, it's scripted to a degree.
Interesting.
So I have to start writing scripts and everything for all that.
Speaking of scripted, so what is that People Zoo?
Yes.
What was it called?
It's called It's called Human Zoos.
A human zoo. What's
Yeah.
a human zoo? 'Cause
Okay.
It sounds awful.
So let's start off. It starts off with this article I'm reading is from the CBC.A or
Huh?
.ca. Natural, the nature of things. It's a article.
I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, I was going through and I was like, there's so many things about this, and this one is the most accurate to what because I was watching a mini documentary series about it, and this one's the most accurate to that. So,
Oh, okay.
shameful legacy that echoes into the present and shouldn't be buried in the history books. That's how they write this. And I was like, okay, yeah. So in the late 1800s, colonial exhibitionist becomes
What?
Exhibit?
Should I read it?
Yes, please do, because I'm so bad at this right now.
In the late 1800s, colonial exhibits became popular in the Western world. Exhibits that not only showcased artifacts, but actual people. In the era before cinema, these shows allowed Westerners to see the foreigners they'd only heard of, and led to huge audiences clamoring for these
Yeah, that's a
tablocks. I've never heard this word before. I've never heard this combination of words before. It's those two words right at the end of the paragraph. Tablock viviance?
Tableau viviance? Tableau?
Never heard that before. What does that mean?
I have no clue. I know it's French.
Alright, well,
Don't know what it
oh, it's French. Oh, okay, yeah, I don't care then. I don't need to know what it means. It's French. Or as they are now called, human zoos. France's colonial jewels. In the late 1800s, France had an agricultural site, Jardin Tropical, devoted to the cultivation of plants from the country's vast empire, showcasing Madagascar, Indonesia, Sudan, Congo, Tunisia, and Morocco. In 1907, the Gardens Fair became part of the Paris Colonial Exposition.
Dude, it's okay. So
And hosted, yeah.
So long story short, because you're gonna scroll through there, and they're just gonna give you a bunch of details of random stuff. But long story,
Yeah, you take back
long
over.
story short,
Just tell me what's going on here.
so they essentially take a group of these people from all those different countries you just listed off,
Yeah.
and they set
Like
them
six
up in
different-
these cages
With natural fauna?
yes, with natural fauna and a small replication of their villages that they lived in, and then
Like, here's a mud hut.
yes.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and like
Oh,
they
no,
would set
no,
them
no.
all into these different cages, and people would come to see them. The one that was one of the biggest hits, at least for in the World Fair, Kentucky, is it Kentucky?
The World-
St.
the
Louis's
World
World
Fair.
Fair. Yes.
Oh, my
The
God.
biggest one
They
was
did
in
this
the
at
St. Louis World Fair.
Oh,
Was
my God.
the Filipino exhibit, and it was because during that time period they had certain rituals where they would eat dogs.
Uh-huh.
But they only ate dogs during the ritual, and it was a very specific reason why they did this. But the colonials were like, "We're gonna feed you dog every day."
Oh, no. Because we want you to perform the ritual
Yeah.
for all these people.
Yes, but they would do the.
But that's your life now.
Yes.
Is doing this ritual. And like
Yes.
your culture is like, no, this ritual is a thing we do on this occasion.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's your life now.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
They're like,
no.
"Here's this dog." But they didn't do the ritual every day. They started doing it just like intermittently, where it was just periodically they would just do the ritual just as like. I guess either because they were tortured or told, because like the ones who didn't do it, or not didn't do the ritual, but the ones who were like caused a stink or was like freaking out, they would disappear.
Mm-hmm.
And like most assume that they just died, got
Mhm.
killed, whatever. Because they would take them out and it's like, don't cause a stink, and then you take the person who caused the stink and.
So if I'm understanding, this started in France
Mm-hmm.
and then got popular around the world.
Yes, the last one to
Not the
exist
only
was in the
time.
1950s
Okay.
in Germany.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, everyone else had banned it during the 1920s, even America. But Germany all of a sudden was like, let's bring it back in the 1950s. It was like,
50s.
the world got mad at them and told them no.
Oh, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
my goodness.
I just thought it was absolutely insane because it was like,
So all right. So the purpose of this thing was, I'm assuming, supposed to be like, we're gonna teach you about these cultures that are really far away that you'll never get to see.
no, imagine it closer to like TV watching, because it's like you know when you go to a zoo, you don't actually learn about the things unless you read the placards and stuff like that.
Right, which I always do.
I do too, but not everyone does. They just go to look at the animals.
To look at the
And
we're going to look at foreigners.
Yes, in cages.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were literally just showing up to be like.
How big were these cages?
Well, I mean, big enough to house several huts, so about probably a yard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it would be like a train car. Wait, the size of a train car?
Like the huts?
No, I mean the cages.
Yeah, I honestly no. I think it was closer to. Okay, let's take half your yard. So yeah, half your yard would be the dump size, at least from the pictures that I could see.
Okay, that's crazy.
Let's see, because they have a.
The size of the cage doesn't make it better. I was just curious.
This is just them in front of a fire pit doing a ritual, but there is actual houses back behind
I also
it.
see walls.
Yes, yes. It's literally a zoo that had walls around it, and you walked in, and there was human exhibits.
Okay. Okay.
It was absolutely mind-boggling that we were doing that. I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that either. But so the whole world came together in the 20s and said, "This is stupid. We're not doing this anymore."
Yeah, they started talking about human rights and civil rights and stuff like that.
Oh, jeez, that
and
always gets in the way of good entertainment.
Exactly. And so they abolished it because of that for some reason. Actually, you know what? Being the black man, I'm so glad they did that.
Oh no, man! I want to see you in a hut.
I would hate to be in a hut. I would have.
It would not. Here's the thing. Okay, the reason that's funny to me is because that doesn't reflect you at all.
No.
To be like, hey James, you're gonna stay in this cage, and here's a hut and a fire pit. It's like, how is this representative of my life in any way?
At all.
I have a house.
That's the thing, right? It's like these people were taken away from their homes and families to just be shown off in a makeshift thrown together hut.
Yeah. Like that's probably nothing. Like, I guess it'd be like it's like a replica. So, but I would imagine it wasn't even built by them, right? It was like built by the people that made the zoo. Oh my god! So it's not even accurate. Yeah. It's probably just like, oh yeah, they live in like thatch roof cottages.
Yeah, dude, a lot of them were really. It looked like you just grabbed a bunch of hay and stuck it on top and just was like, here's a bunch of mud to make it stick together.
Yeah, it's like
done.
Wait, that doesn't even. No, we build things better than this. Thank you.
And like they did.
I guess if we were gonna do a modern day one, wouldn't we do like we would make like the projects? We'd just build one house of the projects, and we'd be like, and you'd have the basketball court, and then you'd be like, look, in their natural habitat. It's like, what are you doing?
The part that got me is you saw how many people were standing in that pit, right?
Yeah, it was like 16.
Yeah, and they had like about 20 or 30 people in each of those.
Jeez.
With basically 2 to 3 huts, and that was it.
That is not enough room.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, where are all these people actually living?
It's been broken down that it's something like to have a comfortable living space, every individual person needs 20 square feet.
Yeah, that's about right.
Which really isn't much, but that whole thing, the formula is not that you can live in a 20 square foot thing and be happy. The formula was that if you have a family or multiple people living in a house, they each need 20 square feet. Huh. Otherwise, it just gets crowded and people get uncomfortable. Yes. And they get anxiety and tension builds and stuff. So like, I learned that whenever I was trying to convince everybody to move to South Carolina with me. And so I was looking into the kind of house that we would need if I convinced everybody to go. And it was like, everyone needs 20 square foot. So I found something that was like, I think 50 or 100 square foot bigger than how many people it was going to be.
Okay, yeah.
And it was basically like, I think it was like an 8-bedroom house with 2 stories. That
would have been amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know if we could have paid for that.
Collectively, it would have only been like 100 and something, 200 something a person.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, no, exactly. I was like really determined to try and convince everybody to move.
We could have done a commune.
Yes, exactly. I was really trying to convince everybody that I wanted to go.
Don't get me wrong, I really did, but like things just weren't working out that way in my world.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
But I'm glad.
It would have been a crazy experience, but I bet it would have fallen apart because roommates always end poorly.
Oh my god, yes they do, and everyone has
I can't say always because Stephen Fox and I are still friends. Josh Farnell and I are still on good terms, but I just don't talk. He's married now, so he's like.
Yeah, didn't he put out an album too? That was good. We listened to it.
It was good.
I know you don't like his style, but it was still a good album.
For what he was trying to make, he nailed it.
Oh yeah, he's straight up,
and he has an amazing voice.
Dude, he could play guitar relatively well.
And his producer was really good.
Yes, I will say like the quality of the music and everything was actually pretty good.
Because like all the drums and the backup guitar and electric guitar and stuff like that was his producer. He just wrote the lyrics and then the main melody. For each one. It was solid though. It was absolutely solid. Not my style though. Not my style. Okay. And it should have taken off. It really should have made it.
I'm gonna change subject on you, but we're gonna backtrack a little bit and move in a different direction.
Okay.
So, along with the People's Zoo thought process.
Yeah.
So in Germany, their last great emperor.
Okay.
So he went to the Congos and realized he couldn't like properly do what he wanted to do, which is he wanted to go in there, start production and get rubber and all this other stuff and build like and have the Congos basically his. Yeah. But because the UN had existed at that point in time, he lied to everybody. Everybody.
The United Nations replaced. What was it that it replaced?
Oh, dude, I don't even remember. I thought it was like an A.
No, it was the internet. There was another organization.
I don't remember.
Like the International or Nations.
The Nations Summit?
No.
Summit of Nations?
No, it was basically there was a thing before that was like international whatever where it was essentially the UN but it was a little bit different, and then after World War II they established the United Nations.
Well,
because that first one fell apart whenever like Japan
then
meeting
it wasn't
and
technically
said,
the UN then. It was the one before the UN. But it is essentially the UN.
It is essentially the UN, but Japan was the first person to ever go to that meeting. and they went to the meeting, they gave a speech and left. And the speech was pretty much like, F all of you, we don't give a crap anymore, we're out.
I mean, can you really blame, like, I know before World War I, or during World War I and World War II, Japan kind of sucked, but like, can you really blame them when you think about the colonization effects that were done towards them? Like from
colonization
Britain.
effects?
Yeah, like Britain coming in there and doing
forced trade.
Yeah, straight up.
By we, I do mean England.
Yes. Like,
England forced trade. Because we're England's baby boy, in a way.
Yeah.
We're emancipated. Yeah. We're England's emancipated son.
But, alright, to get to the point though, the guy goes to the Congo to try and make this his, because he wanted to conquer another nation. That's what he was saying. But he realized he couldn't do it because of essentially
Germany? Germany wanted to conquer another nation? No!
Right. And so what he did, he went really sneaky about it and was like, I'm going to
and was this after World War II?
No, this is, as I said, this is before.
This is World War I?
Before World War I. This is
before. You said 1940s.
No, I said Germany's. I didn't give a date.
Yes, you did. You said 1950s was the last World Fair.
The last thing that they did with the human zoos. I said this is a different topic.
Yeah, not World Fair. Sorry, human zoo.
But this is a different topic.
Okay,
it's along the lines of.
Okay, so before World War I, so like 19.
No. Maybe
1890s. Yeah. 1880s.
Like sometime in the 1800s, late 1800s. But he went over there, told all of the essential UN people that he was like, I'm going over there to preach the gospel and help these natives.
What a good guy.
So everyone was like, heck yeah. And he's like, I'm going to build a great city for them and all this stuff.
Yeah, we're going on a missionary trip.
Yes. And so that was how he got everyone to allow him to go over there. And
no one interfered.
Exactly.
Okay,
So no one would interfere.
Well, they're going there to praise the Lord.
Yeah, and then he enslaved so many villages, forced them to do labor so he could get the rubber, and he started making millions, like hundreds upon hundreds of millions from this. And
we're talking about old world dollars, millions, right?
Yeah.
Or are you talking like common, like if you convert it to now, millions?
If you convert it to now, it's hundreds of millions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you convert it to now, it was hundreds.
Yeah, that's
of
crazy.
And
so we're talking thousands upon thousands.
Yeah.
Inflation.
And then, like,
what a terrible thing.
He was just like, we're doing all this stuff, and he had his own people, write articles about it to tell the all this stuff, what great stuff they're doing. So then
how good is it? Yeah, it's so good.
English reporter was like, can I go there and see your new city? Because he's talking about how amazing it is.
Yeah, I bet.
He's like, yes.
Of course.
Sure. And so he sends a couple of his guys ahead of him to be like, all right, we gotta fix stuff.
Right,
It's
of
like-
course. This is classic. This is a
It's
classic
like-
sitcom episode
Dude,
right
it's
here.
freaking ridiculous.
This is a classic Okay, a reporter from a country who thinks that we're actually saving people is coming to our enslavement camp.
Yes.
Everything needs to be rebuilt. And then everyone take their chains off. Only the ones that will play along.
Yep.
And we're gonna give them a script, and they're gonna say this
Oh,
stuff.
dude, it got so bad to the point where, like, if people didn't want to work, he chopped off their
Oh, it's from the tree.
hands. So,
Whoa.
his whole work regimen thing didn't make sense to me because if you break it down, essentially, if you didn't want to work, he depleted his workforce.
Yeah, well, tyrants aren't really that smart.
Yeah, but they have clever moments. I like the whole, like,
No,
convincing everyone that he's
yeah,
doing this
yeah,
thing.
No. See, that's the thing is that tyrants are generally sociopaths, so they're really good at understanding how to manipulate people.
Mm.
But the thing is, they're not smart.
So when you run into someone you can't manipulate, you just chop off their hands. And
Right,
you're like,
and
well,
don't
now
realize-
you never work.
Yeah,
It's
don't
like-
realize how you're screwing yourself over. Exactly.
Right,
And this happens again and again and again.
It just didn't make sense to me. And then, like, the reporter shows up.
Yeah.
Sees the village, it's kind of okay-ish. And then he starts talking to the natives there and finding out what's actually going on. So he starts taking pictures of people showing him, their non-existent hands.
Oh yeah, I don't have hands because I wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Wait, you wouldn't work? I mean, I didn't convert to the Lord.
Right? It's like, then he found out they were getting enslaved, and he took pictures of all that. He started running into the actual jungle area where they were doing some of this really crap stuff.
Yeah, the actual rubber farm.
Yeah, and then so he went back to England and was like, guys, ringing the alarm bell.
Yeah,
and being
yeah, we
like,
have to stop
What
this."
is going on? Germany is not doing what they said.
Okay.
And so the guy was, so the dictator was like, oh crap, how do I get out of this? Brilliant idea of his was, I knew nothing about it. Didn't know what was happening.
I sent them over as missionaries.
Yep.
They're rebels.
Yeah, exactly.
Haha, genius.
Exactly. Burnt all the paperwork as much as he could
Oh, of course,
that
yeah,
he
yeah.
was involved in it.
Not my fault.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't
But
know.
there
I
was-
sent them as missionaries.
There was still enough.
Oh, I
There
bet.
was still enough paperwork and trails to lead the fact that he knew everything that was going on.
That's the one thing about
Like-
bureaucracy is there is always a paper trail.
Dude,
It is so hard to actually get rid of the paper trail.
I'm just blown away that there were so many, like, because you think of the atrocities that have happened in the world, and in my mind, they always happened in, like, the past. Like, way, like, and I know the 1800s is still pretty far past, but, like, I'm thinking, like, more than 200 to 300 years ago. I'm thinking, like,
What?
thousands
No,
of
dude,
years
we have atrocities going on right now.
Oh, yeah, no, we totally do, but I'm talking about, like,
We've had 20 years of atrocities.
we've had, I'm thinking, like, I know we have world atrocities, yes, but not on some of the levels of the past.
Bro, we are putting that to shame. Currently.
I don't know.
Currently.
Oh no, some people were doing some really, like, if you want to talk about evil, because I've always said I don't really believe in good and bad, but I totally believe in evil.
Bro, the slave trade is bigger than it's probably ever been.
I mean, yes, I've heard that too.
Genocide of an entire nation of people is bigger than it's ever been. That was a big sip.
Yo, come up.
Yeah. Bigger than it's ever been. What would be the other one here? Okay, so if we're talking about slave trade, genocide, what would be another big category?
Slave trade, genocide,
Conquering
sex
nations?
trafficking, which is essentially
Slave trade. I'm
Yeah.
putting that in slave trade. What? Conquering nations? Would that be a big one? Because that's happening now. I don't know if it's bigger than ever though, but
I mean,
it is still
biochemical
happening.
warfare is pretty.
And that's a new
intensive.
one. That's a new one. Which I guess that's kind of.
Actually, that's not as new as you think it is.
Oh no, yeah. I mean mustard gas and all that
No,
stuff. It
no,
goes
like
back to World War One.
It goes back before then.
But-
Like, well before then. China. Was it China? I've watched a lot of documentaries recently.
That's good. Documentaries are my favorite form of entertainment.
It's like someone in China
Next to Arrested Development.
basically helped push forward not the Black Plague. It was another disease, but like it was like
Ebola?
I don't know,
No,
but it wasn't
no, black- smallpox?
it wasn't like they manufactured it, but somehow they realized what was going on and almost like helped mass produce it.
Gotcha.
And like
Okay.
it was weird, and like they did it to their country.
Uh-huh.
And it was like, okay, I need to go back and watch that.
that
documentary
sounds
because
interesting.
it was freaking weird. I'm like, we've had some really terrible people, just
Right.
over the course of even our own lifetime. Yes.
That's what, dude. What I'm saying is, these things that you would be like, I look back to this and I'm like, oh my god, this is the craziest massacre or whatever, and I can't believe this had happened. It's still happening.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that it's gone away. I'm just saying, like, the past was the worst.
You know, the biggest...
Like, let's be honest.
The biggest sex trafficking organization is held at the Super Bowl.
I could believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because that's the thing, right? The smartest thing to do is something you and I've talked about, like, if you're going to do something criminal, is act like you belong, right?
Right.
And so, also, the best thing to do is, it's a line that movies use all the freaking time, books use all the time. The closer you are to the danger, so the closer you are to getting exposed, the more than likely the safer you actually are.
Right. Well, I mean, think about how easy it is if you have the most sold out event ever that's completely televised and everyone's paying attention to it. That's where you do it.
Yeah, exactly, because they're not actually going to be looking what the people are doing. They're going to be looking at what's going on here.
Yeah, they're looking at the Olympic arena.
Yeah. And so it's like, that's where you do all your trading.
Yeah.
And it's like...
I want to check the time. I think we might have to wrap up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's time to wrap up.
Awesome. So today, we did a history lesson. Actually, you know what? That's one of my favorite things in the world.
Dude, history's my favorite subject. Yeah.
Like, which is what we were
So
talking
come
about
back to the
earlier.
bear thing sometime, and we'll talk more about history.
I mean, I will always talk about history if I
Yeah.
can find some stuff that are interesting, which I've, as I said, been watching so much that I'm like, I want more.
But you're going to want to tune in next week as we determine James's opinions on
murder.
a lot of, on 14 different subjects.
14?
Yep. 14 different subjects. It's going to be fun. You're going to love it.
All right, yeah.
Bye.
Bye.